actually be interviewed, or if you just come into my office just to come into my office.
Not yet.
Many people come into my office and they sit down. I get phone calls all the time. I got stacks of resumes. No lie, probably on my desk about this high, going across of people who are looking for work. Now you call somebody and say, okay, well I have this opportunity here for you. I went through the stats, saw your resume, pulled it out. Remember, your resume is the beginning stages. That does not secure you the job. But the resume is that piece that will open the door for you. In order to secure the job, you have to secure your job. By the way you present yourself, by the way you interact with whoever it is you're interviewing with. So I'll have people come into my office and I'll be sitting at my desk and the first thing they'll do is sit back in the chair and essentially make themselves comfortable in my desk. Now that's the first no-no to anything you do, is to come in and feel like you're comfortable enough with whoever it is you're interviewing with to lean back in the chair instead of being on your toes ready to present whatever it is you want that person to know about yourself. Answer the questions given, as well as the second. If the person asks you about your life, tell them about your life and leave it at that. You know. So whatever the question is being asked, be sure you answer those questions instead of going off on a bunch of different tangents about what you think somebody wants to know. Alright? And the third part is, be sure to, a lot of people talk about applying for jobs, a lot of people talk about being given jobs. You really have to kind of take a job. And by take a job, I mean, you have to make me believe that if you leave this room, then there's nobody else that I need to interview. So whatever you need to do, and within the parameters of answering those questions, for whatever way, you have to make me believe that if you walk out of this room, I lost. Instead of you walking out that room, okay, I'm on to the next person. Right? So what is it about you? What is it about what you bring to the table that will separate you from that next person to say, you know what? Something about that, what's his name? Something about that, I have to have him. I have to have them. I don't know why, but I have to have them. And that's really what taking a job is. A lot of people will come into a situation and just start rambling on and thinking that that's taking a job, and that's not really taking a job. It's answering the questions within the parameters given, but separating yourself through those questions. Okay, any questions? Okay, we'll continue on. So, I really, and one other thing also, whenever I speak to groups or anything like that, if you have any questions, please feel free just to shout them out or say any piece. So I'll give you a little background in terms of how I got to where I am, because looking around this room, I do see a couple entrepreneurs. You might not know it yet, but you're in here and it's inside of you, you just don't know it yet. So I started out, my background is actually, my degree is in communications, radio, television, and film production from Howard University. And so I was acting and doing production work, and went off to New York. I was actually the production manager for season 2 of the Dave Chappelle Show. Maybe some of you heard of it. So I was doing that. A buddy of mine owns a facilities maintenance company here, a rather large one. His company actually does about $40 million a year here, and he was selling off a portion of that company. So I had a little bit of money set aside from a couple other ventures. So I purchased that portion and started my company. So that's what brought me back to DC. I was in New York, as I like to say, enjoying life. And that's what brought me back to DC. And through those times, there are a lot of things, a lot of people. I've had people that I knew before I went to school. I had people that I knew before I went to New York